We should get divorced while you still have your dignity. That's what my wife said to me, on a quiet Sunday morning, seated across from me at our kitchen table. No emotion in her voice. Not anger, not sorrow, just flat indifference. She was halfway through raising her coffee cup to her lips, as casual as someone suggesting we try a new brunch spot. 11 words. That's all it took to erase 8 years of marriage. Before I could even process the weight of what she'd said, she stood up, grabbed her bag and walked out the front door. Waiting outside was a man I'd never seen before. She didn't even flinch when she saw me watching from the window. Later, I found out she started bragging about the entire scene in a private Instagram group chat. But I didn't confront her. Not yet. I'm an IT security consultant. I'm trained to observe, gather, and act with precision. So I did what I do best. I quietly collected everything. Within 24 hours, I had already retained a top divorce attorney. Within 48 hours, I'd frozen access to our joint financial accounts, transferred untouched funds into my personal pre-marriage account, and revoked her access to certain cards and platforms. Within 72 hours, her entire scheme began to unravel. It started long before that Sunday. The night before her declaration, she'd returned home late, claiming she'd gone for drinks with friends. She wore a different perfume, something floral and bold, not what she had on when she supposedly left for an emergency meeting earlier that day. Then, while she was in the shower, a message lit up her phone. It read, "Missing you already. Next weekend can't come soon enough." The contact name, just J followed by a black heart emoji. That was when it hit me, the gnawing, icy certainty in my gut. She was having an affair. I'd never looked through her phone before. I'd never had a reason to. But that night something shifted in me. I stopped being a husband trying to fix a distance and became a strategist gathering intelligence. Our home network logs every device that connects. Our cloud storage archives deleted files for up to 30 days. And our security system saves footage for 2 full months. I had built our digital infrastructure. She used it to betray me. It didn't take long. The router logs confirmed she had been at a downtown hotel on 6 separate occasions that month. Her shared calendar, full of fake lunches, lined up perfectly with those visits. Deleted text threads between her and her friend Megan talked about Jay, her exit plan, and what came next. But the real bombshell was the synced Instagram group chat. She had forgotten that her account was still logged into our family iPad. In that chat, she and 3 close friends gleefully discussed her affair and the divorce plan. Jay was a CrossFit trainer from her gym. Young, energetic, impulsive. Everything I wasn't, apparently. One of the friends even asked, "Does Mason suspect anything?" Her reply, "He's too busy with his computer stuff to notice. We barely talk anymore. He'll probably just nod and go back to his spreadsheets." Jay had his own messages. "As soon as you file, I can move in. My place is small, but we won't need much space." She was planning to bring him into my home. But what truly sealed it was a message from her old college roommate, Diane, a ruthless divorce attorney. She'd once torn my cousin apart in court. And now, she was drafting a strategy with my wife. So, I acted. I gathered every screenshot, video clip, and file. I restored her phone exactly as I found it. When she returned the next day and casually mentioned visiting her sister out of state for the weekend, I knew she'd be with Jay. Her location sharing was still active. I didn't say a word. Instead, I called Ben, a former client and top divorce attorney. I sent him everything. After an hour of reviewing the files, he leaned back and said, "She was going to blindside you. Diane's playbook always starts with filing emergency support orders and painting the husband as unstable or financially controlling. But we're going to file first." At 2 p.m. the next day, while she was supposedly at a yoga class at that same hotel, I signed the papers. Grounds. Adultery. We submitted everything. Organized, time-stamped, irrefutable. Ben then sent a 3-sentence email to Diane. "I represent Mason Hayes in his divorce from Catherine Hayes. Attached is a copy of our filing from this afternoon. Also attached is a sample of documentation regarding your client's extramarital activities. The sample included screenshots from the group chat, where Catherine openly mentioned Diane by name, outlining their premeditated strategy. That night, Catherine came home in unusually high spirits. She talked about a big project at work. I nodded, smiled, and said I'd be busy too. While she slept, I finalized the rest of my plans, secured our finances, changed account passwords, and moved my personal assets. I didn't make any drastic moves that would be legally questionable, just protective ones. My lawyer approved every step. The next morning, while she was at work, the fallout began. She texted me. "Did you do something with the AMX? It's not working. Why can't I access the Vanguard account?" Finally, "Mason, call me immediately." I replied. "In meetings all day. What's up?" By 3:17 p.m. she called. I let it go to voicemail. "We need to talk. I'm coming home now." I texted back. "Working late. Tomorrow works better." That night I moved essentials into my car, activated mail forwarding, and checked into a hotel. I ignored her increasingly panicked messages. The next morning she was officially served at her office. Ben called. "Diane wants to talk. She's concerned about the ethical implications of her involvement. She's proposing a fast, quiet settlement." We met the next day. Catherine avoided eye contact. Diane was all business. Ben laid out our terms. 1. Equitable division of assets. 2. No alimony. 3. Clean break, no drama. 4. A preliminary agreement within 72 hours. Diane agreed. Catherine asked for a private word. Ben gave a slight shrug. "There's nothing to discuss," I said. "The papers speak for themselves." Outside, she caught me in the parking lot. "You went through my phone." "No," I replied. "You brought your affair into a digital environment I built and monitored. That's not snooping, it's maintenance." She stared at me, speechless. "Jay isn't just my trainer," she finally whispered. "I know," I said. "He's the man with the tiny apartment you thought you could escape to. The one who's ghosting you now that things got complicated." Her silence said everything. I opened my car door. "You told me we should divorce while I still had my dignity. So thank you for that advice. I'm taking it." Within 48 hours, the agreement was signed. No alimony. No drama. Clean, quiet split. That was 6 weeks ago. I moved into a new apartment, changed my email, joined a different gym. I haven't seen or spoken to Catherine since. Through friends, I heard she never moved in with Jay. Apparently, he's giving her space. Translation: he wanted a fling, not a future. Last week, a handwritten letter arrived at my office. I recognized the handwriting. I didn't open it. I shredded it. Some stories don't need an epilogue. Date: 5 weeks later. I wasn't planning to share more, but a few things changed. First, thank you for the kind words. For those who called me cold or calculating, you're right. When your spouse is plotting to ruin you while sleeping with someone else, calculated is the correct response. As for her family, her mother called constantly during the first week. Desperate messages, begging me not to throw away the marriage. I finally answered and said only, "Ask your daughter about Jay." She hung up, never called again. Her younger brother, someone I'd always respected, texted. "Heard what happened. She's always been like this. Sorry, man. We grabbed a beer last week. He's still family." She isn't. And Diane. Word is, the Bar Association is reviewing her involvement. Apparently, conspiring strategy with someone who hadn't officially retained you, and being mentioned by name in premeditated group chats, is a big no-no. Justice isn't always loud. Sometimes it's silent, precise, and served with a polite smile. And sometimes, dignity means walking away, after making sure the truth is undeniable.